In the peaceful land of Eternia, Mechanic was known as a quiet and loyal man who served the royal family with skill and dedication. He rarely spoke about his past, but those who looked closely could see sadness hidden behind his calm eyes. Years earlier, his life had been shattered by a terrible tragedy that still haunted him every day. That tragedy was the disappearance of his young son Philip. It happened on Dragon Mountain, a place known for its beauty but also its danger. Mechanic had taken Philip with him on a journey, hoping to teach his son about the world and share moments together. While they were there, a sudden and violent storm struck the mountain. The wind roared like a living beast, rocks cracked apart, and the sky turned dark in seconds. Mechanic tried to protect his son, but the storm was far stronger than he expected. During the chaos, Mechanic slipped and fell, injuring his neck badly. The pain was unbearable, and before he could recover, everything went black. When he finally woke up, the storm had passed, but Philip was gone. Mechanic searched desperately, calling his son's name again and again. His injured neck made it difficult to move, and every step caused him agony, yet he refused to stop. Hours passed, then days, but there was no sign of the boy. Eventually, Mechanic collapsed from exhaustion. He was later found by travelers who helped him survive, but nothing could ease the pain in his heart. Despite returning to Dragon Mountain many times over the years, Mechanic never found Philip. Still, deep inside, he believed his son was alive. That belief was the only thing that kept him going. Unknown to Mechanic, Philip had survived the storm. He was discovered by a powerful and ancient sorcerer named Count Marzo. Marzo was clever, manipulative, and driven by greed and ambition. He sensed something special in the boy almost immediately. Philip possessed a rare gift. He could play a flute in a way that produced magical melodies. These melodies had the power to calm creatures, influence emotions, and even weaken the minds of others. At first, Marzo pretended to be kind. He gave Philip food, shelter, and protection. He taught him how to use the flute properly, praising his talent and encouraging him to play. Philip, lonely and frightened, trusted him. He believed Marzo was helping him. But as time passed, the truth became clear. Marzo used Philip's music to cheat people. He would send the boy into villages and marketplaces where the flute's melodies distracted listeners and clouded their judgment. While people were enchanted by the music, Marzo would steal their gold and jewels. Philip slowly realized that his gift was being used for evil purposes. When Marzo ordered him to use the flute to help steal from a jeweler, Philip refused. He said the flute was meant to bring joy, not harm. This angered Marzo deeply. He reminded Philip that he had saved his life and demanded loyalty in return. But Philip stood firm even when threatened. He would not use his music to hurt others. This act of defiance made Marzo reveal his true nature. He no longer cared about gold alone. His ambition had grown much larger. He wanted power. He wanted the throne of Eternia itself. In his twisted mind, ruling Eternia was his destiny, and everyone else was merely a tool. Marzo began to plan carefully. He learned about Mechanic and his missing son. Using dark magic, he arranged a meeting with Mechanic and revealed the shocking truth. Philip was alive. Mechanic was overwhelmed with emotion. Years of pain and longing rushed back in an instant. Before he could ask where his son was, Marzo made his cruel offer. If Mechanic delivered King Randall and the Queen into his hands, Marzo promised to reunite father and son. The offer was simple, but the choice was impossible. Mechanic loved his son more than anything, yet his loyalty to the king and queen was absolute. They had trusted him, given him purpose, and treated him with honor. Mechanic refused. He declared that he would never betray the royal family, not even to save his own son. Marzo laughed, calling him a fool, and warned him that he would regret his decision. Then he disappeared, leaving Mechanic shaken and afraid. As Mechanic stood alone, his heart felt heavier than ever. He knew that danger was coming. Marzo would not give up so easily. Somewhere his son was still in the hands of a powerful enemy, and the fate of Eternia itself was now at risk. Thus, the darkness began to rise, and the path toward conflict was set in motion. The sun burned fiercely over the vast desert of Eternia as King Randall and the Queen began their royal expedition. The journey was meant to be peaceful, a simple visit to distant lands to strengthen alliances and observe the wonders of the realm. He-Man, Tila, and several guards rode alongside the royal caravan, alert and cautious, knowing that danger often appeared when least expected. Mechanic also traveled with them, silent and troubled, his thoughts torn between duty and the memory of his lost son. The desert stretched endlessly in every direction, waves of heat rising from the sand like invisible flames. Hours passed and exhaustion slowly crept over the group. Even the strongest warriors felt the strain. As hope of rest began to fade, something remarkable appeared ahead. Between towering rocks shimmered a lush oasis, green palm trees surrounding clear water that reflected the sky like glass. To the weary travelers it looked like a blessing. Mechanic felt uneasy the moment he saw it. Something about the oasis felt wrong, as if it did not belong there. Yet the king and queen, affected by the long journey, welcomed the sight. He-Man studied the area carefully but found no immediate signs of danger. Against his instincts, he allowed the caravan to move forward. As they entered the oasis, the air suddenly changed. The wind died down and an unnatural silence settled over the area. The water rippled without cause and shadows shifted strangely along the rocks. Then, without warning, the illusion shattered. The trees vanished, the water disappeared, and towering stone walls rose from the sand. The caravan had walked directly into a trap. Count Marzo appeared, laughing as his dark magic sealed the fortress around them. The guards rushed forward, but magical barriers blocked their path. Before anyone could react, the king and queen were pulled away into separate chambers, imprisoned by powerful spells. Panic spread through the group, and Mechanic realized with horror that Marzo had finally made his move. Guilt crushed Mechanic's heart. He knew that Marzo's plan was connected to him and his refusal. Though he had not betrayed the royal family, his silence had allowed danger to reach them. He blamed himself for their capture and feared that he had already lost everything. Man stepped forward, his voice calm but firm. He promised the king and queen that he would rescue them no matter the cost. Drawing strength from his oath, he transformed and prepared to face whatever magic awaited inside the fortress. Tila and the others followed closely, determined to fight. Inside the fortress, the air was thick with dark energy. Every corridor twisted unnaturally, leading the heroes in circles. Marzo's illusions played tricks on their minds, making walls seem solid when they were not and hiding deadly traps beneath harmless ground. Progress was slow and dangerous. Meanwhile, far deeper within the fortress, Philip was held captive. Though afraid, he had grown stronger over time. His bond with the magical flute remained pure, untouched by Marzo's corruption. He sensed that something important was happening and feared for his father, though he did not yet know how close Mechanic truly was. As He-Man's group advanced, they were confronted by a massive magical creature summoned by Marzo. Its size alone was enough to crush them, and its roar echoed through the stone halls. Steel and strength proved useless against it. Just as defeat seemed certain, Philip began to play his flute. The melody drifted through the fortress like a gentle breeze, calming the creature and putting it into a deep sleep. This moment revealed the true power of Philip's gift. His music was not meant to control or deceive, but to bring peace. Even from afar, his courage reached the heroes and gave them hope. Marzo watched in anger as his plans began to crack. Still, he believed his victory was inevitable. He tightened his hold on the king and queen, preparing for the final stage of his scheme. Eternia's throne was closer than ever, and he would not allow a boy and his music to stand in his way. Outside the fortress, the desert winds howled once more as if warning of the coming clash. Mechanic, standing beside He-Man, felt his resolve harden. He no longer saw himself as a broken man haunted by the past. He was a father, and he would face any darkness to protect his son and his kingdom. The trap had been set, the lines had been drawn, and the fate of Eternia now depended on courage, loyalty, and the power of doing what was right. The true battle was only beginning. Deep within Count Marzo's fortress, the air grew heavier with every step He-Man and his allies took. The walls pulsed with dark magic, and the silence was broken only by distant echoes of stones shifting and spells being prepared. Marzo knew they were coming, and he welcomed the challenge. In his mind, victory was already assured. The king and queen remained imprisoned in separate chambers, bound by powerful enchantments designed to weaken their strength and spirit. Marzo believed that once Eternia's rulers were fully under his control, the throne would fall effortlessly into his hands. What he did not expect was the determination burning within those who opposed him. He-Man led the advance with unwavering resolve. Tila stayed close at his side, alert for traps and illusions. Mechanic followed behind them, his heart pounding with fear and hope. Every step brought him closer to his son, yet every moment also reminded him of the danger Philip was still facing. Marzo unleashed his guards first. Magical creatures and animated stone warriors rushed forward, filling the halls with chaos. The clash was fierce. Steel met stone, magic collided with raw strength, and the fortress trembled under the force of battle. He-Man fought with unmatched power, clearing a path through the enemies, while Tila and the others protected one another with discipline and trust. As the heroes pressed deeper into the fortress, Marzo revealed himself. Standing above them on a raised platform, he mocked their efforts and declared that Eternia would soon kneel before him. With a wave of his hand, he summoned his most dangerous weapon yet, a towering guardian fueled by dark energy, stronger than any creature they had faced before. The guardian attacked with overwhelming force, forcing the heroes back. Even He-Man struggled to hold his ground. The creature seemed unstoppable, immune to strength and weapons alike. Just when defeat seemed inevitable, a soft melody echoed through the chamber. Philip had begun to play his flute. The sound was gentle but powerful, cutting through the darkness like light through shadow. The guardian slowed, its rage fading as the music reached its core. Slowly the creature lowered itself to the ground and fell into a deep, peaceful sleep. The fortress itself seemed to pause as if listening. Marzo screamed in fury. His greatest weapon had been neutralized not by force but by compassion and harmony. Enraged, he turned his attention toward Philip, attempting to silence him forever. Before he could act, Mechanic rushed forward. Father and son finally stood face to face. For a moment the world around them faded away. Mechanic dropped to his knees overwhelmed by emotion. The end.